I'm no one important, just your average man who thinks mostly of average things. I suppose up to this point I've lived a pretty common life. I'm not expecting there to ever be any great statues or buildings dedicated to me, and my name will soon be forgotten. But in one respect, I do believe I've succeeded as gloriously as anyone my age. I've found the love of my life, who I've given my heart and soul to, and for me, I do believe in the end, that will have been enough. But that's not the story, really. The story is that this story would have never been written had it not been for the influence of Jesus Christ, who not only influenced my life, but the life of so many men and women who have jumped into the trenches of life with me to make this story possible. This story would have never been written had it not been for the influence of Jesus Christ on the life of the one I've fallen in love with. She's the real hero of this story. I would like to share with you the connection between the love of my life and the song Amazing Grace. I believe the song Amazing Grace is the greatest song ever written. I also believe the love of my life is the greatest example I've had in my life of what that song represents. Our story has been described as a chance encounter. Others question whether it was destiny. Some even argue it was an act of God. That will be for you to decide, but one thing is for certain. It's definitely a story of amazing grace. That did lead to attraction. It did lead to 7 years of ups and downs. Mostly ups, I reckon. It did lead to love. And ultimately, it leads to, well, I guess that's why we're all here tonight, isn't it? So then, let's see. Where shall we begin? Well, yes. Let's pick this story up from the beginning, in the winter of 2004, shall we?
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see.
Looking back on it all, it was without question the defining moment in this story. You see, before this moment, I was living my life as a casual Christian mostly, inviting God into my life when it seemed comfortable to do so. You know, when it was in line with what I wanted to do with my life. Perhaps you've met someone like I was. Church once a week on Sundays to present the facade of my Christian faith. Perhaps a lighthearted prayer once, maybe twice a week, to sprinkle some Christianity into my life during the week and get me to the next Sunday. Of course, what was behind the facade was regular weekend bouts of alcohol abuse at parties, and other things that are really not appropriate for AI-rated movies, so I'll leave them out. But suffice to say, I was Christian on the outside, but a lot of stuff in my heart just wasn't right. I knew I needed to change. In fact, I wanted to change. I desired to truly surrender my will to my Lord and Savior, and begin the process of living a life that was more in line with what was in my heart than simply what was in a book I studied on Sundays. And so, that's what I decided to do. Of course, the deep well of brokenness and piercing heartache I was drowning in left me no other choice. But I count all that as a blessing now. But back then, in the midst of my brokenness, I did the only thing I had the strength left to do. I dropped to my knees and cried out to my God. I chose to begin the process of surrendering my will at the cross, right there in my bedroom. I prayed that God would give me strength to deal with the pain. I prayed that God would be there to comfort me and get me through my heartache. I prayed that God would give me courage to live more in line with how He would want me to. I prayed that God would not waste this pain I was in, but that He would use it to His glory. I prayed that God would bring a Christian woman into my life, and not just any Christian woman, but one who truly had the Holy Spirit living within. A woman who feared the Lord. A woman who was wise and of noble character. A woman who put God first above all things, even me. A woman who would let me fight for her heart on the battlefield of life. A woman who would fight for my heart in prayer and challenged me to be strong and courageous in my faith. Okay, well, yes, I know what you're thinking. I did pray for that too. I did pray that God would bring the most attractive, beautiful woman I'd ever laid eyes on into my story. I must admit, that part did feel a little bit pushy, but then again, what did I have to lose? And now, looking back on it all I can say is, thank you, Jesus, for answering my prayer, and then some. In fact, the one thing I didn't pray in that life-changing moment has turned out to be the biggest, most rewarding blessing of it all. Funny how God likes to take our visions of perfection and make them 1,000 times better.
And so that's how it all really began, but it's what would happen next that makes this a true love story.
Who's that? I don't know. Is that AJ? I think it's White. Somebody was telling me about this one. What's up?
What up,
hey,
Mike?
guys?
Hey, what's up,
White. What's up, bro?
Hey, big buddy. Yeah.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, brother.
What's all the big news?
Hey, man, have a seat. You guys have a seat.
Yeah, what's this?
What's up, dude?
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you guys. All right. Man, I'm so excited you guys are here tonight.
Come on, man.
What's up, man? I was watching the Discovery Channel, dude. This is a good episode.
This better be good, man.
Yeah.
Let's make an art at home.
Guys, I'm telling you, this is big.
Yeah. Drop it on us.
How big?
I want you to think of the biggest thing you can think of. Get that in your head right now.
Sperm whale.
Sperm whale.
That's pretty big. You're
That's
the biggest mammal.
That's pretty big. It's bigger than that.
bigger than a
You
Is
guys,
it as big as that Bible right there?
it's bigger than this Bible. You guys ready?
Come on, man.
So
Come on.
here's the big news. I decided that I'm going to ask Andrea to marry me.
No way, dude. Look at that. Wow. All right. Wow. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
That boy, lion.
That's a poppy move, man.
Chasing lions over here.
Here's the thing, guys. I mean, yeah, I'm really excited about it. The reason I wanted to come over here tonight and to share this news with you guys is that's really as far as I've gotten in my head. But I want to come up with like the biggest, the coolest idea I can think of for the proposal. I want it to be bold, but most importantly, I want it to really, I want it to honor Andrea just for how amazing of a girlfriend she's been in my life, and I couldn't think of anything better than getting my guys together. And I know you guys are all big thinkers, and I need your guys' minds to help me come up with this idea.
Bro, dude, who cares about the details? I'm just pumped you sacked up and decided to do it, man.
Oh, man. Yeah. Figure this out. Here's what you gotta do. You gotta surprise her, take her to an island, propose on the beach next to the water with the sunset.
Oh, man.
How much TV you watch? I don't even watch watched here.
That's
What
pretty
is this?
solid.
Imaginary land here? Oh, come on, dude. It's perfect, right?
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Come on.
What do you guys think? Is that a good idea?
No, bro.
No, dude, I got a better idea than
What do you got?
than
What do
the
you got?
Bachelor
Hit
over
me up.
here. So you take Andrea to a Broncos game.
Oh, you would
You
say
get her
that.
picture on the jumbotron, and then you have a pilot flying across the stadium with a banner that says, "Andrea, will you marry me?"
No,
That's
man.
a good one, man. That's a
She's
good one.
retarded, dude.
Whoa.
Did you even like Broncos?
That's Tebow, man.
Oh, that.
He is
I forgot.
Tebow.
Yes, Andrea hates sports. I probably couldn't even get her.
Whoa.
It's a great idea, but I mean,
Fellas,
you got an
time
idea?
out.
Let's
Time
out.
I don't even know the story. Do you guys know the story of Chris and Andrea?
You guys know the story. I told you guys the story.
No,
I've never heard of
it. Never heard it.
I haven't told any of you guys the details of how we met.
No.
None.
I'm so surprised.
Is there a story?
Yeah, there's a bit. You guys want to hear the story?
Tell us. It'll give us some ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, yeah. So the story. I mean, it was about 7 years ago. It was in the winter of 2004. You guys know I've shared with you I went through a rough time in my life back then, and I was praying to God that He would help me at this time in my life, and that He would bring this amazing woman into my life. I remember that being part of the prayer, and a few months after I lifted that prayer up, it was Saturday. I believe it was the 1st of June, 2004 in the summer. It was a Saturday, and it was about noon. I was hungry, so I decided I was gonna drive down to Subway to get a sandwich.
Good sandwiches.
Good sandwiches, yeah. Really good sandwich. So I pull into the parking lot there in Subway. I get out of my car and I walk in with nothing on my mind other than getting something to eat. And I get in Subway and there's a line of probably 6 people in front of me. And I'm looking up at the menu and I'm trying to figure out, what I want to get to order. And I kind of look back and I notice in front of me, 2 people in front of me, there's this just the most beautiful woman you've ever seen in front of me. And I remember thinking like, man, that woman is just, wow, she's beautiful. And I remember I looked down at her hand to see if she had a ring on. I had to check that out, of course. And she didn't, so score for me on that.
There you go.
But it's embarrassing to say. The next thing I did was I just completely panicked. I didn't know what to say. It was
Come
just.
on, Whitey.
Come on, Chris.
I know,
Come on,
man,
watching
I
a
know.
game.
I know, man. My game was gone. My radar was off. That was the problem. The radar was off when I walked in. So we get our sandwich, and she leaves, and she in front of me, and she's paying. I'm like, and I couldn't get any words out. And she leaves, and I'm pretty close behind her. The sandwiches were going pretty quick, and when I come out, I was just so disappointed in myself. And I saw her drive off.
Did you chase after her?
So you didn't talk to her?
I didn't talk to her, man.
Did she get a foot long?
I think she did. Now that I think about it, were you there?
Good appetite. Nice. I like that.
Yeah, so I saw her drive off in, she had a Jeep Cherokee at the time, a brown Jeep Cherokee with Michigan license plates, which resonated with me because, so I thought, man, I can stalk this girl now. No, I'm just kidding. So she's got this Jeep Cherokee with the Michigan license plates, which resonated with me because you guys know my parents live in Michigan, and I had Michigan license plates at the time. So I get in my car, and I'm in my car, and I'm really upset with myself. But then something clicked in my head, and I remembered, I was at this time in my life where I just made this decision. I was just trusting God with my life, with everything that happened in it. And I was kind of convicted of that in this moment. And I thought, you know what? If I'm really going to choose to live my life like this, then God's much bigger than me panicking and not saying something to this girl, right? So I was in the car, and I said, God, God, if you want this girl to be in my life, then you'll bring her into my life 3 times. And then I was done with it. I put it aside. I was done with it. I did go home. I had a roommate at the time, and I remember going in to talk to him. I said, hey, Mike, I got to tell you the story. I was at the Subway, and I saw this girl. She was gorgeous, and I panicked, and I couldn't say anything to her. We kind of joked around about it. But after that, it was out of my mind. Done. So
you never saw her again, huh?
Well, that's the crazy thing. So that was like the 1st of June, right? It was about 3.5 weeks later, actually 4 weeks later, close to 4th of July on a Saturday. I was taking the trash out, and I'm walking down the driveway to take the trash out, and I kid you not, Andrea comes driving down the street. Of course, I didn't know her name at the time, but she comes driving down the street in this brown Jeep Cherokee with the Michigan license. And I'm like, that's the girl. No
way.
I was kind of in this same, I wasn't prepared for this moment. Yeah. So I was like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And it didn't really matter because she never even looked at me. She just drove right by me.
Did you chase after her that time?
I didn't have my shoes on, so I thought that might be kind of weird if I ran her down and jumped on the back of her car and so she drives off, right? And I'm thinking to myself, this is the first time, mind you, that she's popped back into my head because I completely forgotten about it. And she drives off, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm like, I made this bet with God that if He brought her into my life 3 times, then I was going to say hi to her. I was like, this is twice. So, but then I put it out of my head again. I was like, well, I'm never going to see her again. That's crazy. That doesn't happen 3 times. So literally, it was another 4 weeks. It was the 1st of August. It was a Sunday, and Sunday's my day to go get groceries down at King Soopers down there on Colorado and Florida. I saw her the first time at Florida and Colorado was a Subway, and then I was driving down on Sunday to get my groceries at Colorado and Exposition there at the King Soopers. And I've already forgotten about her again. And I'm pulling into the parking lot in King Soopers, and the first car in the back of the first car I see is this Jeep with these Michigan license plates.
Whoa.
I'm telling you guys, the first thing in my head was,
yeah, 3 times the charm.
You Lord.
Well, no, I mean, that wasn't actually. You'd think that would be, but I pulled in, and I just my heart started racing. I mean, it was crazy. Because I remembered, I made this deal with God. And I'm a man of my word. I got to come through on this. And so my heart starts racing. I mean, I was scrubbed out. I think I was doing yard work in the morning. I had this hat on backwards, this scrubby shirt. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to say hi to this girl. So I park and I go in, and I'm trying to get my breath, my composure. I get a card. I'm trying to play cool. I'm trying to find her. I'm going through
Protein shakes.
I'm looking for my protein shakes. I got to get some of that get my courage up. And so I'm going through the King Soopers, and at the other side of this aisle, I see this blonde. I see the back of this blonde push this cart, and I'm like, I think that's her. I mean, mind you guys, I hadn't seen her for 2 months. I mean, from Subways, and I didn't really get. I mean, I got to look at her, but I wasn't sure. But so I'm pretty sure that's her, and I knew she was in King Soopers, so I figured that's got to be her. So I'm kind of trying to not be the stalker, but trying to figure out how the heck do you go up to a girl in King Soopers and. I've never done that before. How does that work, So, fortunately, I'm pushing my way down the aisle trying to find her because I lost her that first time, and I see she's circled back around and she's stationary now at the protein bars.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
And I'm thinking in my head, this girl likes to work out, score, that's perfect. But I'm thinking, what I was really thinking was, this is my only opportunity. She's there, she's stopped.
Yeah.
I got to do this. So I went for it. I just pushed my cart down there. She's looking at protein bars.
You gotta ask her where the gym is, right?
Yeah, wait. I got a question. So I go up to her, and she kind of sensed me. She kind of sensed me standing next to her, and she had a Michigan State hat on, I believe, because that's where she went to school. And she kind of looks up, and I look at her, and I say, hey, how you doing? And I'm just going with ad-lib and all this. I don't have a clue. And I say, hey, how you doing? And she goes, she kind of half smiled, good. And I said, I'm sorry. I said, I've got to tell you this story, and you're going to think I'm crazy, but I've got to tell you the story, and you'll understand after I tell you. And she's like, okay.
Oh, no, you didn't tell her, did you?
Yeah, dude, so I just told her, I told her the story I just told you guys. I saw you at Subway, you're from Michigan, my parents are from Michigan. I made this bet with God that if He brought you into my life 3 times, that I was going to say hi to you. And this is the 3rd time, and so here I am. I just wanted to say hi. And then I went into, my name's Chris and Andrea, and we had some small talk from there. But, that was 7 years ago, and I'm telling you, that's where it all started. 7 years ago, that story right there.
7 years, though? I can't even imagine that. That's crazy.
It's taking you 7 years to do this?
I knew you were going to say that.
She must be a good woman putting up with these.
Yes, she must
tell you guys,
must have some patience.
She's amazing.
So, in 7 years, there must be some amazing stories that you have that you guys have shared.
Oh, I've got thousands of stories I could tell you about Andrea and how amazing she is. And
yeah, but I want to hear how you know she's the one. Is there a feeling you got, or some things that happened with you guys that you just really that helped you figure it out, man?
Okay,
you gotta know this.
Yeah, I again, I've got 100. I got 1,000 reasons why Andrea's the one. I mean, I could talk for the next 10 days on all that. Gosh, I'm not sure.
I mean,
where to even start
so
with.
you had 10 things, and 10 things only you could tell one person
Okay.
why you want to marry her. What would those be?
Okay,
Yeah.
10 things.
Yeah, the top 10.
A top 10.
Top 10. Top 10.
That's him.
Top 10. I
That's
like that
exciting,
idea.
right?
Man, that's a lot of pressure to come up with 10 in 7 years of a relationship. But yeah, you guys want to do the top 10?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do it.
absolutely.
You have